blows those little kernels into a big piece of popcorn. But those little kernels are there, and that's things like those comments yesterday, such as we've mentioned it, the half a dozen different games this year where LeBron and Coach Blatt have sat in different parts of different areas of the arena after the game and directly contradicted each other in their comments. And again, I've mentioned those, and I've said, hey, not trying to be the guy that's looking for something to mention, but this isn't a good thing. Wow, you're just looking for something. The Cavs will be fine. There's a long season to go. I go, okay. Well, what about that? Well, you're just looking for something. Again, guys, I'm not looking for stuff that's not there. If you don't think that these are not things to worry about and they're not just magically going to go away, even if you win a few games, the Cavaliers won a few games. They went on a nice long winning streak, and the minute that ended, these things were still right there because they're there and they're not going away. They can be fixed and they can be dealt with, but I circle it back around, and this is where people are going to say, well, you just don't like LeBron James. That is not, well, that is true, but that is not true in this aspect. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous about stuff, but the stuff that he's doing here, I go back to what I said yesterday. He tried it early. He got shut down. He did not do it in Miami because they did not let him do it in Miami. Plain and simple. And now he came back home because when the questions got too tough in Miami, there was a simpler answer. I'm going back home. Bam, everybody's happy again. And again, I just believe that until there's either a coach, and listen, I like David Blatt, but I'm talking about a veteran, either coach, owner, player, general manager, whatever, like a Riley, like a Dwayne Wade, somebody that has that man's respect to where he feels that, hey, I have to answer to this guy. And he doesn't have that. He does not have accountability. There's nobody, to me, guys, I'm just being honest. To me, there's nobody on the Cavs organization that LeBron James looks at and feels I owe them my best effort. I owe them this. And I'm not saying that like, oh, he owes them because he works for him. Don't even go stupid with the conversation. It's accountability. It's what you feel when you look to your left and you look to your right in a team sport, and it doesn't matter who they are, Joe Blow and Sam Smith, and I owe these guys whatever because we're out here, we're on the same level, we have accountability for each other. And like I said with Miami, LeBron had that in Dwayne Wade, if nothing else. I don't believe he ever fully respected Chris Bosh, to be totally honest with you, but he did have that with Dwayne Wade. And at the end of the day, with Wade and Riley, there's two people that LeBron at least felt accountable to. And that means something. That really does mean something to me in what you get out of it. And he just doesn't have that here. I don't know. People think you wave a magic wand and Tyronn Lue is the guy. Just because it's the guy that he wants to be the coach doesn't necessarily mean that's also the right thing either. That just means he's more happy about it. And exactly, Vashawn, LeBron had to be the lesser guy in the combination with Dwayne Wade because Wade had already won. Wade was already more accomplished, and he was going to help LeBron get to where he went. And that's where I keep going back to, even if you want, whatever you want to think about LeBron James, he is not doing for the guys that he's leading. And I'm talking about Kyrie, any of these guys. He's not helping and leading them the way Wade did for him, the way Riley. And that's what I said at the beginning of the season when he was pulling his diva act at the end of the games and talking down about his teammates. To me, that was completely I'm like, man, I don't remember Pat Riley sitting in front of the media and going, well, LeBron is just so used to losing. He's got bad habits from all those years in Cleveland. We've got to break him of all those bad habits, and then he'll learn how to win. I don't ever remember Dwayne Wade sitting in front of the media after a game and going, well, you see, I can't force LeBron to do anything. I have to just play my game and they'll have to learn on their own how to win, and then we can go on winning together. He never did any of that stuff then because those guys, that's not how you do it. And that's my point. And whether this stuff is a matter of pressure, it's a matter of ego, that's what it is. But whether you want to give it any other explanation or not, these are realities beyond what is incredibly driven by the media. And that's where you got to, and then this stuff is taken way over the top by the media, but it's all there and it is all real. And when the Cavaliers beat writer for the local paper writes an article to the tune of LeBron James refuses to commit to not leaving Cleveland again, that's bad. I'm just telling you now that is bad. There is literally an editorial here explaining to you that no matter how much people would criticize it, LeBron James will not hesitate to make the business decision to leave again. I'm not saying he will. I'm not trying to do gloom and doom. I'm just saying when the local paper, who, by the way, was in that group of people, I believe somebody from this paper predicted they'd go 72-10 this season, if I'm right. Anyways, same people. This is the beat writers. That's where people that are usually very careful about what they say, when they start putting that stuff out there, telling you guys, you better listen. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And this thing can get ugly, or it can straighten itself out. But I really do believe, more than any of the other stuff, the David Blatt, and it's not that he lost the team. I'm going to go back to what I said yesterday. It's that I don't believe he ever had, obviously, LeBron James. I don't believe he ever had several of these players to begin with. That's the problem. It's not so much he lost them as much as he didn't have them to begin with. And then on a coach that is highly offensively minded, you took away his defense, his defensive. Yeah, I mean, look, you changed the makeup of this roster, and anyways, there's a lot of time. There's a lot of things to be done. There's a lot of things that the Cavaliers can do to change personnel. You can upgrade the roster. You can bring in different players. There's a lot of things you can do, and I'm not saying this season is over or anything, but if the fundamental stuff, if the respect between the players and the coach, if the respect between the leader and the other players, if it's not true, if it's not real, if it's not genuine, then no matter how much you fix it, when push comes to shove, when pressure, crunch, playoff time comes, those issues will show their head again, and you won't get where you want to go. And that is the reality of it. You can cover it, you can hide it, you can make it better, and you can get better. But if these things don't get actually fixed, I promise you that we'll be revisiting this conversation at the end of the season. And then who knows where things could go from there. Cavaliers have a good opportunity here to make people forget about it for a day here, because you owe the Hawks a little bit of something back. So we'll talk about that. I'll preview the game a little bit later on in the show. And again, I mean, it's amazing to me that we're talking about this. The Cavs are 18-12. They've won 60% of their games, yet still, don't let that fool you. They do play in the Eastern Conference, and they can win a lot of games, but you can cover it up. You can trade it. This stuff is real. I'm telling you. So it's easy to see these comments and these articles and these quotes and these unnamed sources, and it's easy to do what people do. Hey, it's the media. They're just blowing stuff out of proportion. They're just looking for something to talk about. Very much true a lot of the time. But the seed of what they're talking about came from reality. They just grow it into a big garden around it, man. But that's still there. I'm telling you, man, my gut tells me that David Blatt is definitely, I'm not saying that he's in trouble. He's the designated fall guy if this thing does not work out. And it's the easiest. It's why I think they hired Tyronn Lue to begin with, because it is easy. If you're going to keep the group together, and what I mean is LeBron and all these players, then you can't necessarily, it's like Ray Farmer. You can't go out there and say Johnny Manziel stinks. You can't, I'm not saying, I'm joking, but you can't go out there and bury your assets. So you can't kill all the players, but you set yourself up in a position where it's easy to explain that all of this was because you had an underprepared, inexperienced head coach who, while very good at his job, just wasn't prepared for the NBA and for the stardom of LeBron James, and people will go, oh, that's what was wrong with the Cavs. They had a rookie head coach, and it makes sense now. And then you get one free, it's like a get out of jail free card. So if the Cavs continue to struggle, I expect to see them play that get out of jail free card, and it gives everybody a way to explain. Think about it. It gives everybody a simple, easy explanation for what's been wrong with the Cavaliers. They had a coach who was in over his head, and LeBron knew it the whole time, but good old LeBron never said anything bad about his coach. I can see the stories now. About how frustrated old LeBron suffered through 3 months with a rookie head coach who didn't know what he was doing and took one for the team until the Cavaliers finally rescued LeBron and brought in a coach who knew what he was doing. Can I write this stuff as good as they do? Because that's what I see coming. If it goes south, I do see David Blatt being the easy, ultimate fall guy for this thing. Tell me what you guys think. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Email us, TheSportsFix@AOL.com. I'm going to keep this show rolling, baby. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's get Jeff Gorman on the phone. Normally, we're just talking Tribe. Indians 101. Jeff also writes for Browns101.com. Since he's going to preview playoff games for us on Friday, we're going to kind of talk a little Indians and Browns with Jeff when he joins us here. We'll talk some Tribe, what they've got cooking so far as we flip the calendar to 2015. And Farmer and Pettine both speak to the media. Where are they at heading into the offseason? We'll talk about all of that and more with Jeff Gorman from Indians and Browns 101.com. Coming up next, still got Dr. Football joining us in hour 2. Doug Plagens of the Lake Erie Monsters. We'll preview that Cavs game tonight. Vikings. Tough one for them again last night, and so much more. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Sports Fix.
No, never survive unless you get a little bit.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Sports Fix listeners, you've heard me talking about it. Millionaires being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. I've been playing there too. It's now J-Rock's favorite one-week fantasy football site. What's one-week fantasy football? That means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Have a player who's hurt? That's no problem at all because you change everything week to week. Injuries don't derail your chance at victory. It's a new season every week. You're never stuck with the same players. You can pick your team in just minutes and be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day. $1 million just for playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play for free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com.
Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Elo hit a three-pointer on the sideline!
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week.